Hi, this is Amos, Tarfa with Lifestem Academy and Life LLC. I am here on the campus of University of San Diego. We were just traveling through from our vacation, and I decided I would just record a short video because the person at the hotel mentioned that they just won the most beautiful campus award. So, a little bit of the campus. There's way more, but this is just a little bit of it, okay? You can look up the pictures of University of San Diego, beautiful place. If you look at the most beautiful campuses in the world, it is actually top 20, as well as the Flagler College in St. Augustine, and then Princeton University and some other colleges. In this video, I want to talk to you briefly about our career course, but also just about college in general and vision planning. So as I said, my name is Amos, of course. And basically, what we're trying to do with students at Lifestem Academy is we want to help them have vision for life and have some direction of where they're headed. Not everybody is supposed to go to a traditional four-year college, and we understand that. We also know that there are people who want to go to trade school, there are people who want to go into the military, and we're going to have different discussions around those topics. Our school, Lifestem Academy, actually had a gentleman who was an Air Force officer, or someone who's about to get into enlist in the Air Force. He was in the ROTC program, and so he was able to share briefly with the students at chapel, and then also share with them about just a little bit about into general overview of what do you call it, the general overview of the being in the Air Force. So he did that. But what I want to do here, though, is let's just take a step back and let's think through a few options. So again, when students are in 7th grade, when they're middle school, high school, there are several options that they can explore when it comes to decisions for career and life. The first option is, again, going to a traditional college to study something specific. I tell people, if you don't know what you want to study specifically, please don't go to college. Make sure you know what you want to study. It's not that it takes 5 years to figure that out. It literally, even if you're in 7th or 8th grade or 9th grade, you might have some inclinations at that point, right? So I'm just saying, start somewhere and then pivot if you need to. But to go in saying, I don't know what I want to do, and then spend 2 years, for example, and then realize, oh no, I want to do that. Well, especially if you're not paying cash, sometimes that money just goes to waste, and you don't want to do that. And the time goes to waste. That's even worse, right? You can get back money, but you can't get back time. So number one is make sure you figure out, what do you want to do if you're going to a traditional four-year college? If not, go to a community college, get your generals, and then make a decision about what you want to do beyond that. So that's one track, is four-year college. The second track is military, or serving in different capacities of the military, and there's different opportunities to serve. So that's the second track you can take. So you could take a traditional four-year college, you can go with the military, which is tied to the four-year college option if you want, or you could just serve in a different capacity. Now again, the military branch is a different discussion for another day. The third option is to go to trade school. There's different types of trades that you can learn. Carpentry, you could go into construction, and this, that, and the other. There's so much. And some of these are 2-year programs, and you can do it in 2 years and move on from there. So we have traditional four-year college, we have trade school, we have military option, we have apprenticeships, right? That's another one. Maybe you look into an apprenticeship. So in our career course, or in our career program at Lifestem Academy and just with Life LLC, we're going to guide or encourage you to explore all these different options and get a notebook where you can write down your thoughts on each of the professions that you're studying. Maybe you like computers right now. Okay, write down computer science, look into job shadowing someone in computer science, find out what branch of computer science gets you excited. Now, every level of the way, right? So if you're in 7th grade, your mindset will be different from a 10th grader or a 12th grader. You guys are in different phases of life. But what is consistent is make sure you pay attention to what are your gifts, what are your talents, what are your abilities, what are the things you love to do. And as I said before, for example, if you don't like working with people all day, answering questions, then maybe you shouldn't be a customer service representative, right? And there are some people I've met, unfortunately, that I probably thought that was probably not a good fit for them, because they seemed like they were upset that we showed up to ask any questions, right? So if you like people, if you like answering questions, then maybe explore a field that involves people. So again, write down the different gifts you have. Write down your different things that you lean towards, right? And then keep exploring those. Keep discussing those with your mentor. Make sure you have a mentor at any point. Maybe it's a mentor for a season, it's a general mentor, or maybe it's a mentor for a specific field that you're interested in, okay? So we can go to four-year college, we could go to trade school, or learn a trade or apprenticeship. We can go to military academy, or join the military, or we can look at other options that I might not have listed, but those are big categories that take care of a lot of things. Now, apprenticeships used to be very common back in the day before our universities started coming up more and more. But if you think about it, the first university in the Western Hemisphere, for the most part, well, for the first university in the Western Hemisphere came about 1100, right? The University of Bologna in Italy. Then we get universities like Oxford and Cambridge around 1200, and then we got more universities like Harvard around 1600, 1600. So think about it. What were people doing all before 1100 AD, right? So there's a lot of apprenticeships. You want to be a blacksmith, you go hang out with a blacksmith, right? Those are the things that people used to do. And so there's different options that you can look at for, four-year college, apprenticeships, whatever it is. But having a mentor, someone who has gone before you, will definitely help. So I want to encourage you to make sure that you consider getting a mentor. Ask your parents to connect you to a mentor. Or if you're interested in a field and your parents don't know who to connect you to, go ahead and let us know at LifeSTEM Academy, and we can help connect you. If you want to be a quantum physicist, we can look at connecting you to a quantum physicist. If you want to be a medical doctor, make sure you're connected to a medical doctor. Maybe you know what specific part of medicine you want to study, then you can do that as well. With that said, let me talk a little bit about medicine, just to give you guys an overview of one of the career fields. If you want to become a doctor in the United States, you have to get a pre-med degree or a four-year degree in something, right? Generally speaking, I would personally recommend chemistry, but you can get it in biology, biochemistry, physics, whatever. You get your degree, and there's certain courses like organic chemistry that you will have to take no matter what your bachelor's degree was, right? I know someone who got a bachelor's degree in like music and ended up becoming a doctor. So get your bachelor's degree in a field. Make sure you learn organic chemistry. Make sure you learn general physics. So the first step in becoming a doctor in America is you have to get a bachelor's degree. After you get a bachelor's degree, you need to go to medical school for 4 years. So the first step could take you about 4 years, and then you have 4 years in medical school. After the 4 years in medical school, you do a residency, which can last about 3 years or more, depending on what specialty you're interested in. In medical school, you'll get different branches of medicine, experience with different branches. You get a rotation in cardiology. You get a rotation in radiology sometimes. I could go on and on with the branches. But you get a time to explore those fields, which is interesting. Medicine has that piece right. Now, in terms of giving people an option to explore different fields so that they can then make a decision. So notice that it's like job shadowing within medicine, right? So you get a 4-year degree, and then you get a 4-year degree, and then a 4-year medical school training, which can be at any of the medical schools. It's not easy to get into medical school, but there are strategies to do that, and we'll talk about that later if you're interested in medicine. Some of those strategies involve having very good study skills, having very good networking skills. Make sure you do your best, apply yourself. Okay, so you go into medical school 4 years. Okay, some of that time is going to involve taking more exams, and some of that time will also involve working on your internships or job shadowing, right? So you finish 4 years of medical school. So now you've done 8 years of school after your K-12 education. Now, do you see why LifeSTEM Academy likes to help people finish their K-12 education efficiently in less time? Because then you don't have to do so much school, right? Because you're going to be doing 8 years after your bachelor's if you're interested in medicine, right? We help our students finish their K-12 education hopefully in 10 years. That's our goal, or less. But again, if you want to do the traditional 12 years, K-12, that's fine. So you do 4 years of undergrad, you do 4 years of medical school, you do 3 years of your residency, and then some people do a fellowship. That's where, let's say I want to be a neurosurgeon, or I want to become a radiologist, or I want to become a medical oncologist or radiation oncologist. There's certain fields of medicine where you then do a fellowship, right? So that could be another 3 years. So that's 4 years undergrad, 4 years medical school, 3 years for residency, depending on your field. It could be 3 to 5 years, and then another 3 years of fellowship. If you want to be a doctor, time in school should never be the factor that holds you. Like, you should never use that as a factor. Like, for example, you're like, oh, I'm going to be in school for too long. No, if you want to be a doctor, you have to be willing to go through this like a marathon, right? And so you have 4 years, 4 years, 3 years, and potentially another 3 years. So you're about 14 years now beyond the traditional K-12 education. So let's say you graduate at 18 from high school, which you could be done earlier, then you'll be able to do that later. So so that's what you would do if you want to be a doctor, is the 14 years. So you do the 14 years, and then after that, you'll basically be a doctor at the age of 32. Okay? So we'll talk soon. Take care.